Hey everyone, Melanie here. Today I'm sharing a layout for Bramble Fox. This will be a process video using the Happy Days perspective along with some paper snips and some more items. In this pack it came with the Happy Days bright yellow title, 2 butterflies, and the pale pink word beautiful. I'm also using the Fox stencil number 57 and paper snips number 19. I chose the pink fresh flower market paper, and I just started with a couple of thin strips anywhere between 1.5 inches to 1 inch, and I cut them into strips just a little shorter than 12 inches. Put them down on my paper and I will sew those down to the middle eventually. But first I'm going to take my stencil and I just want to do some of these really pretty soft floral branches and flowers in a couple of different colors. I'm going to use peeled paint. Can't remember the other colors I use. I'll have to tell you in a minute when I get to it. So I'm just going in and picking out different stems of the flowers, and some of the flowers on the ends I will go in and add 3 different colors. I want to do a little bit on both sides of the left and right with my Distress Oxide, and I'm just kind of flipping the stencil around so the stems, the flowers, will go in different directions. I want, some going up at the top and some going down at the bottom, just to make them, a little more natural-ish as we go. So we'll finish applying this color and then we will go to, I'm pretty sure speckled egg will be our next color, but I'll tell you that in just 1 second. I love these stencils. They're a nice thickness, they go on well, and they wash very well too. So yeah, we're going to use speckled egg next. I'm just going to add some of the little flowers that are on the stencil to the tips of some of the stems just to make them look a little more layered. And you're going to see when we get to the end of the video, I covered up probably 90% of my stenciling when I started using the paper snips and some of the ephemera from the Pink Fresh Flower Market collection. I don't know why I do that, but I do it a lot. And this next one that I'm using is, oh my gosh, I can't remember and I can't see the lid of it. I cannot remember which one it is, y'all. That last color. I'll look and put it in the notes. And then this is the new gray by Tim Holtz, the newest color, and I'm adding it just softly, a few of the leaves into that. And I'll link all the colors in the description when I'm finished, because sitting here doing the voiceover, I can't remember. So we're going to add a few of those in, and then we'll be just about finished adding all the Distress Oxide and the stencil in there. I'm going to spritz it with a little bit of water, and then I'm going to take some of the colors that I used and make splatters with it. But the water's just going to release some of the colors and make it just look a little more distressed. So I'm just picking out a few of the inks that I used, spraying them on my little Teflon mat. I'm going to roll my paintbrush around in it and just flick, splatter some of them on there. Again, we're going to cover most of it up, but it was fun making it. You'll still see the splatters out from the side. I'm going to roll it with my paper towel just to help remove some of the excess. Now I'm pulling out my, where's it at? My Lunar Paste by Ranger. This one is by Simon Hurley. And this color is Minty Fresh, and it really matches this collection nicely. There's a few little butterflies on this stencil, and I just lightly apply some of that randomly around the mixed media portion of the stenciling just to add the butterflies in. And I think I cover up all but 2 of those. Nope, I have 3 of them showing. So now I'm taking paper snips number 19, and I fussy cut out 4 or 5 of the flowers. I didn't make y'all sit through that fussy cutting. Nobody wants to watch that. Here I'm just going to use my T-square, put the papers down, and tuck them like one on top of each other, one under the other one, and I'm going to sew those down with some light gray thread just to give it a little more dimension. And y'all know I love sewing on paper. So there, I've sewed it down. Next, we're just going to start laying my pictures down. The pictures I'm using for this of my sweet puppies, Augie and Millie, I was in my garden this week planting potatoes. It's almost time for me to plant things. So I'm going to use these two pictures of Millie on top, Augie on bottom, and I chose the yellow because you see there, that's a bag of compost and it was bright yellow, so it matched. So I'm putting a little foam tape under them and just to pop them up so I'll be able to go in and embellish. And I'm going to make sure when you use the perspectives to peel the little protective film off the front and or the back. Here I'm going to take the paper snips. I think this paper snips number 19 may be my most favorite because of the beautiful flowers. And they match this Pink Fresh Flower Market collection so well. I cut off some of the flowers have little leaves on them, and I cut them off and then put them in different spots because they didn't work where they were on the flower. So I'm adding those in, just layering them on the top left, the bottom left, and the bottom right. I'm using my fine line red top glue just to get under there, under those embellishments, so I don't really have to move them all. And just going to start gluing down. And just watch, y'all. I'm going to cover up the majority of the mixed media I did. You'll see a little bit sticking out, but mostly in the top right when it's over with, but that's okay. It still turns out okay. So I end up in the end having to cut a few more of those paper snips, and I wish I would have gotten about 12 sheets of these floral paper snips because I love them. So we're going to add those, and then I'm going to put the title down, and I put my perspectives down always with wet glue. The fine line red top glue works really well. You can use the Aleene's tacky glue, you can use Nuvo glue, you can use Glossy Accents. Here I'm going to finish off my title. I wanted it to be Happy Days in the Dirt. So I pulled out some Heidi Swapp little letters that I get from the Heidi Swapp shop, and I'm using this little pale turquoisey blue, and I drew a line with my T-square, which you didn't see, just to make sure I'm setting those letters down straight. And it's going to be Happy Days in the Dirt because Millie's the worst. She just can't stay out of the dirt when I'm planting or in my garden. And of course, the compost is disgusting and they love it. Can't live with them, can't live without them. So my little title in the dirt's going to go there, and then I'm going to start pulling out a few embellishments as we go here. I have to use tweezers because these letters are so tiny. So there you have it. I'm going to start. I pulled out the ephemera, the paper ephemera, and the vellum ephemera, and I'm just going to start tucking in and layering a few more embellishments because I didn't have enough of the florals. Can you ever have enough florals? So I'm adding that cute little camera, and I popped it up. I added it under Happy Days. I pull out the vellum and can't decide which pieces I really want in there. I ended up using that blue piece of vellum that says These Little Moments. I'm putting a little vellum piece at the top, and it says Grow with Everyday Adventures. And then I'm going to add in just a few little flowers. Those vellum pieces are beautiful. Not a lot of them worked on this page, but I'm going to probably use every piece in this vellum pack. I pull out that pink vellum flower and just kind of start tucking it in. It's hard to find a place to tuck in because I had it glued with wet glue. Here's where you see I'll pull out the paper snips because I can't ever get enough. I'm sorry I was off the camera a little bit. It was down below. These paper snips are beautiful. It's like they're stamped on an oxide or something because the color comes out of the outline a little bit. I love them. Here I'm going to add a few more little leaves in. Sorry for any noise in the background, y'all. I'm right off the kitchen, and I think they're in there doing something. So some more leaves. I'm going to put down that little word I told you that is Grow with Everyday Adventures up at the top. And the vellum's just so soft in there. And here we are adding a few more cut out paper snips because like I said, you can't get enough. I struggle on where to put the butterflies, but I end up putting one at the top left and one at the bottom, but I end up switching them. There you go. Tuck that one under. Put the little one down there like it's kind of lighting on a flower. Add those. When you use the wet glue, always remember to hold it down for 2 or 3 seconds, 10 or 20 seconds, just so it'll adhere. Here I'm pulling out the chipboard flare. I end up sticking that one that says love this above these little moments. I put one that says best friends over by the camera because, well, that's true. I put it up there, but I end up moving it. It's going to end up going down by the camera. There it goes. And then the top left, I tuck a little floral one in under there on the very top left. You can see that in just a second. I tried a couple of different ones and I couldn't ever make them work. So I ended up putting those back on the sheet, and then that's the one that's just got some little bitty florals, and I stick it in under the top. And we're getting close to being finished. I pull out some white thread and I just kind of make it into a little messy ball, bird's nest, whatever you want to call it. I stick it under the camera, add it in with a little wet glue. Just adding that thread, it just adds something to the layout. I'm going to do it up there, and then I'm going to do it at the bottom corner under the florals by these little moments. And I'm sorry my page went down and I didn't realize it. Here I'm going to pull out some Heidi Swapp stamps, and I'm going to stamp in with the speckled egg, or that mystery color, which I've got to go see which one it was. And I know what it is, I just can't remember. So I'm using Friends up top. I'm adding a definition that says together under the title, and then I add relax under the thread on the bottom left. Then I'm going to add my date in under the butterfly, and that's it. Here's the finished layout. Again, I used the Happy Days perspectives in this beautiful bright yellow. I added the butterflies that come with it, some stamping. I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. Please follow Bramble Fox on Facebook. It's Bramble Fox page, Bramble Fox Friends, along with the Bramble Fox Instagram, and of course the YouTube channel where we are today. You can follow me on Instagram at Melanie Hyatt. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.